You probably think you caught all the important parts of Chief of War Episode 3, but trust me, there's a hidden thread running through this story that changes everything, and it all starts with a single, almost throwaway moment, Kamehameha holding that rifle for the first time. Seems simple, right? A warrior learning a new weapon. But look closer, and you'll see it's the spark that could ignite a chain reaction to reshape the entire Hawaiian Islands. Because this isn't just about firepower, it's about who controls history itself, and Episode 3 is quietly telling us that control might shift faster than anyone expects. Jason Momoa's Kamehameha is no longer the same man we met before. His time away from the islands has transformed him, not just in language, not just in skill, but in ambition. Learning passable English aboard the British ship is a detail the show glosses over in dialogue, but if you catch the editing rhythm, quick cuts between Kamehameha training and Kahekili plotting, it's not just a montage, it's a declaration of war in two languages. And why does that matter? Because the second you introduce a man who can speak to both sides, you introduce someone who can betray either. This is where Vi comes in, and here's the genius of her introduction: she's not written like a love interest, she's written like a mirror. She recognizes Kamehameha instantly as Hawaiian, but she's also already thinking 2 steps ahead about trade routes, British influence, and who gets to dictate the terms. Her plan to trade sandalwood for guns isn't just commerce, it's diplomacy wrapped in inevitability. She knows the British are coming whether they like it or not, so why not shape the storm instead of being swept away by it? It's a philosophy Kamehameha latches onto, because at its core, it offers him exactly what he wants: the tools to return and face Kahekili. But here's the deeper hook: the writers are playing with the idea that every character sees Western influence differently. To Kamehameha, guns are justice. To Vi, trade is survival. To Marley, it's exploitation. Speaking of Marley, he's more than just a racist antagonist, he's the personification of greed without restraint, and his scenes with Tony are a warning: the cost of foreign contact isn't always gold or wood, sometimes it's human lives. Tony, the warm-hearted sailor teaching Kamehameha English, is the tragic counterpoint. His capture by Marley isn't just a cliffhanger, it's a litmus test for Kamehameha's priorities. Will he race back to Hawaii to secure weapons and settle scores, or will he risk everything to save the man who helped him find his voice in another tongue? And then there's the other half of the chessboard, the island politics that are brewing into a storm of their own. Kamehameha's introduction this episode isn't just badass as the fandom's calling it, it's a calculated move to show us he's comfortable in environments where others suffocate, literally. That underwater contest isn't random, it's foreshadowing. The man can survive pressure, hold his breath longer than his enemies, and come up for air when everyone else is panicking. That is prophecy language without saying the word prophecy. And speaking of prophecy, Moku's belief that Kamehameha is the chosen king isn't just faith, it's political engineering. He's marrying his daughter Kamehameha to him not for love, but to align her influence with Kamehameha's potential. But here's where the show drops a subtle tragedy: Kamehameha knows she can't have children, thanks to the seer Tala's vision. And if you're paying attention, that knowledge changes her every glance, every pause. She's being asked to shape the future of a kingdom without leaving a bloodline, which means her weapon won't be heirs, it'll be influence. That's dangerous in the best way. Meanwhile, Keōua is painted as Kamehameha's foil, impulsive where Kamehameha is measured, obsessed with war while Kamehameha is thinking about food supply. But remember, in a land where famine can kill faster than battle, the man who controls the harvest controls the war. The camera lingers just long enough on their exchanges to tell us this rivalry isn't just personal, it's inevitable. And that's the beauty of how Episode 3 is structured: every storyline is a powder keg, and the writers keep handing out matches. Kamehameha wants guns, Marley wants profit, Vi wants leverage, Kamehameha wants stability, Keōua wants glory, Kahekili wants the crown, and Moku wants the prophecy fulfilled. The moment any two of these goals collide, the islands change forever. Even the smaller beats, like the sandalwood trade discussion, are more than set dressing. Sandalwood is finite. Overharvest it, and you destroy your future economy. Trade it too cheaply, and you hand your enemies the means to destroy you. This isn't just about ships and kings, it's about the environmental chess game that underpins the entire story. And the prophecy? It's the thread stitching all of these ambitions together. Kahekili believes it's him because he already wears a crown. Moku believes it's Kamehameha because he was born under a comet. But what if they're both wrong? What if the prophecy isn't about bloodlines or thrones, but about the man who changes the balance of power? That man could just as easily be Keōua, returning not with an army, but with the means to arm one. Episode 3 hides that possibility in plain sight, the way Keōua handles that rifle like it's an extension of himself, the way the sound design punches every shot with a little more weight than reality. And let's not forget the meta-historical context. In real life, Keōua's journey to acquire Western weapons altered the course of Hawaiian unification. The show is leaning on that history, but it's also teasing deviations. For instance, Vi's role could be entirely fabricated for the series, which means her influence might lead to outcomes no historian could predict. And that's where the fun begins for us as viewers. We're watching history play out with just enough fiction to keep us guessing who wins. The ending of the episode, Marley holding Tony captive, works as a cliffhanger, but it's also a microcosm of the bigger theme: who gets to own the future? Will it be those who exploit, those who adapt, or those who resist? By the time the credits roll, we're left with a table full of players, a prophecy in dispute, and a looming return to Hawaii that promises all these tensions will finally meet on the same shore. And the wildest part? If you watch closely, episode 3 might have already shown us the winner. But only if you catch the detail everyone else missed, that slight, almost imperceptible smile Keōua gives when Vi says the British will come whether they want them or not. It's the look of a man who's already decided that when they do, he'll be the one holding the keys, or the gunpowder.